So you're on a real thin budget, but you need a portable camp stove for your backpacking, day hiking, and camping adventures. Well, today you're in for a treat because we're gonna do Battle of the Budget Stoves. All three of these bad boys come in at under $30. We're looking at 2 Primus stoves and 1 GSI stove. I cannot believe that the PocketRocket 2.0 was beat out by over a minute by one of these other guys. With our cheapest model being the Primus Classic Trail backpacking stove, and the most expensive being the GSI Glacier camp stove, and the one that's the smallest and coming right down the middle in price point, the Primus Essential Trail backpacking stove. All right, folks, so I'm not gonna belabor it. We're gonna jump right into the testing and the criteria, and then after we do the boil test, we'll do some different things and break them down and really put them head to head. And so this is our kind of testing criteria that we're gonna do today that's semi-scientific. It is about 36 degrees out, and that's about the normal temperature, particularly when I go backpacking into the Rocky Mountains. When I use stoves like this in the morning, it's usually in the mid-30s when we're trying to get a cup of water going for coffee and for our breakfast. So I think this is a great temperature to kind of test these guys out in. I have here my 750 milliliter Toaks titanium mug. I have put exactly 16 ounces of water in it from the refrigerator water purifier. So I will be pulling fresh water, which each one of these 3 tests. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start this guy. We're gonna see how long it takes. And then we will do a cool down period where I'll toss the water out. We will let it sit for 10 minutes to let the pot cool down, and then we'll do the next element, the next stove, and see how it performs with fresh water from the exact same source, so it's a ballpark the same temperature. So that's kind of the idea, and I like doing these tests in my backyard because I'm a mile above sea level, and I'm able to consistently over the years test product here at this sea level, at this altitude. And we have a pretty good plumb line for that instead of me trying to do it in the backcountry, which I've taken all these several times now, and different elevations and things like that. Okie dokie, we're gonna go ahead and start with the Primus here. Open that bad boy up. Boom. Boom. All right, there we go. All right, folks, let's go ahead and break down these stoves. We'll look first here at the Classic Trail as it is getting that water boiling, and we'll jump back and forth as we boil water with each model. Now, as I said earlier, this is the cheapest version, about 23 bucks, but you're gonna pay for it in ounces. This is the heaviest of the models we're looking at today at 8 ounces total. It is going to have 5 inches of footprint from tip to tip. And then you've got your ringed burner element. Now, the interesting thing with this is that the valve is actually detached. So that's kind of cool, which means it just has a little bit of a narrower footprint in whatever pot and or bag you might be carrying it in. Then you just screw this little guy in right here. Gives it a nice tight seal. And then you do have that polymer little adjustment knob with a plus and a minus sign to give you control over the output that it would be producing. And again, that output is going to be 9,600 BTUs, which is middle of the road for the models that we're looking at here today. All right, what do we got here? Oh yeah, she's going good. And we just crossed 3 minutes. Awesome. So that was nice and quick, nice and fast. 303 was what I saw. There we go. Woo! That is hot though. That handle is flaming hot. Even, oh, look at that. I melted a hole. Whoa. I've done that a bunch and I've never had that issue. So because of how wide the mouth is, that means that it's shooting up heat onto, and I can see that the handle, I've not had that issue with center burners before. Those handles are discolored at this point. So keep that in consideration. I just ruined my bag. Kind of sucks. But take that as a data point with the big wide head ones versus the ones with the burner being directly in the center. I haven't ever experienced that with all my MSRs and other center burners. Okay, so that was the first Primus. Let's go ahead and let it all cool down. All right, guys, round 2. It's been 10 minutes. The nice thing about titanium, it doesn't retain heat very long. So, I mean, it's ice cold now, just like the first one was. put fresh unheated water in there. So we're going to turn on our stove. There we go. Boom. There we go. Starting the timer. All right, so as that glacier is getting the water going, we'll jump right into it. Now, this is going to be the most expensive, about $28 on average, and that is because it has the highest BTU rating. At 11,000 BTUs is what the output is, so we should expect a pretty quick boil time here in just a moment. We'll find out. But you got that very similar burner size, 5 inches diameter maximum. Now, as we lift it up, you do have that valve with that little kick out wire adjuster right there. So it is not detachable like on the Primus, so it's going to have a wider footprint overall at just over 3 inches, like 3.2 inches from the top of the teeth up here all the way down to the bottom of the valve there. Easily adjustable though, and you don't have to get quite as close to the heat to adjust this because it swings so far out, whereas on the Primus you just have that little black knob. So not a big deal, but you are a little further away from the element to adjust if you need to do that, which is a nice thing. And it's lighter than the Primus, coming in at 5.9 ounces, whereas this thing again was 8. So, you know, 2 ounces lighter as well for about the same footprint in diameter, a little bit wider footprint from top to bottom. And the GSI is also included with a stuff sack to carry it. There we go, it's just starting. And look at this, that is extremely surprising. Over a minute longer to get us to that rolling boil with that GSI. Okay, all right. I was surprised by that. That was not something I expected. Let's see what the last one does, that last Primus. All right, so here's our third and final one. Now this one is different because it's got the burner in the middle, whereas the other two we've been testing so far have their burner all the way around. So I'm curious if this is actually going to perform a lot differently because of the position that it's in, the burner and the element is in. Boom. There we go. As we move on here to the smallest of the 3 that we have been looking at today. Now, this one is again going to be kind of middle of the pack for pricing. This is going to be $25 on average. And guys, throughout this video, I will have links for you to backcountry.com. They will have all of these stoves in stock at these prices. Purchased a lot of my stuff through Backcountry over the years, and we will have stuff over to Amazon as well. Those hyperlinks will be for you below. So we do appreciate it if and when products do connect with you, you use the hyperlinks that we provide for you guys in the description box below. Now, and we will compare this, all the 3 of these, to the PocketRocket 2.0 here in just a moment after we get through the Essential Trail. Being the lightest at 3.9 ounces, so that's really good if you're counting every single ounce. Smallest footprint, coming in at a diameter of 4.3 inches and a height of 2.4 inches. So it's going to be shorter, taking up less depth, and it is going to be slightly smaller. Obviously, bigger pots and things maybe not quite as stabilizing. Then you do have that little valve right there that is not removable or detachable, but we do now get, instead of that little polymer adjuster, which isn't bad, it's just kind of outside of the norm. Most have this little adjustable wire one, and it will get you a little further away from the element. And that element is producing the least amount of BTUs for the 3 that we are looking at today at 8,600 BTUs of output. And one other thing, it is nice that these other 2 come with the little stuff sacks. This one does not come with any sort of stuff sack. Not a deal killer by any means, but it would have been nice to have something like that included for the Essential Trail. It's gonna be real close. Yeah, I mean, yep, there it is. Look at that. Wow. Awesome. So that's pretty impressive, that it is slightly faster than the other Primus, and it is significantly faster than the GSI. Right there will show you that where the burner is located, and is it burning like in a ring around the outside? Is it right in the center, hitting right in the middle of the pot? Does make a difference when you're wanting to boil water. So pretty awesome. All right, and so finally, we're going to do the MSR PocketRocket 2.0. We'll talk competitively how this compares, which is more expensive and more compact, with some of these cheaper but bulkier versions we're looking at. And we're away. Wow, crazy result so far, but I had to put it up against my beloved MSR PocketRocket 2.0. This has gone on tens upon 10, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 dozen, not only day hikes, trips, backpacking, all over the place, use it constantly. I love how compact and small it is. Now, it's about double the price at around $45 on average. It will have the lowest BTU output at 8,200, but it does have that element right there in the center. And really the benefit is the cut down on weight, but also the cut down on the size. I mean, it's so compact. I can put it inside any pot or cup when I'm traveling and get those legs extended, and we're ready to rock and roll. So let's see what happens when it is put up against these 3 budget friendly options. All right, there we go. Rolling boil, 412, 411. Wow. I just let me get this off here real quick. The fact that Primus, I believe, Essential Trail, and I'm annotating in case I'm fumbling over names and stuff. It's the fastest. It's the fastest out of all 4. This guy right here is the fastest out of all 4 of these right here, and which is not what I was expecting. That is crazy. All right, guys, so based off of our results, I'm trying one more test because I wonder if the smaller, narrower pot that we were using for our initial boiling test was just too narrow for these larger elements. And so I'm going to use the GSI, and it's boiling it on a much wider pot today. Same kind of concept, same water source, 2 cups. Just want to see if there's a speed difference in boiling between what we found what was the best with the Essential Trail from Primus and the worst or longest, producing one of the 3 we were testing with the GSI Glacier. Okay, we're at a rolling boil, and we're at 425, 420-ish time frame to get this going with the GSI. Okie dokie, been 10 minutes, did the whole process, that we've been doing. Crank that sucker open. Let's see how fast our winner is from our original last post. There she goes. Wow, rolling boil, and still a minute faster. Crazy, with a much wider bottom. That's such a crazy finding. That Essential still crushing it from Primus. Folks, I was not expecting what we have seen and what has just transpired with this budget battle. Bro, you are right in the middle of interrupting my filming sesh. You're good. You're all good. Let me call you back in about 5-10 minutes. I got to wrap up this final shot.
No worries.
All right.
Not mention me.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. My buddy Rob just interrupted this shot. Very rude. Anyway, so what we just saw and what transpired was not at all what I was expecting. But what this Essential Trail Primus has proven to us is that it's not always about BTUs. It has a lot to do about positioning of the burner, I believe. I believe that is part of why this is working so well. Having it right there in the center, it doesn't have the ring all the way around it, and it's just able to punch right into the center of your pot or cup or whatever it is that you are boiling. So for this test on the budget end of things, I would absolutely say the Essential is the winner. It is not the most expensive. It is the smallest of the 3 and has really performed super well. So obviously, guys, this is a backyard experiment. I tried to keep the variables as tight as possible, but your mileage may vary depending on altitude, depending on season, or different things that you may be doing and how much water you're boiling. This is just my experience to give you guys a data point based off of the variables that I could create and trying to keep them as tight as possible. Now, one thing some of you may be curious about is like simmering and the, simmering control. Now, for me, and I've been in the outdoors for years, backpacking, camping, day hiking, all that stuff, it's usually boiling. I don't really cook and, you know, need a simmering feature when I'm carrying this small and compact a stove. Now, I wasn't really able to test that very well. Basically, from what I was able to determine, that I would say that the Primus Classic Trail, just because of the knob, it didn't seem like it was really manipulating the flame as easily. You know, I really had to move it a bit to get it to kind of go down. I was kind of playing with it to get it to go where it needed to. Again, if you just need it to boil, boom, you know, not an issue. You just crank it all the way up. And I found that there wasn't any issue really with the other two. I couldn't tell you like which of the GSI Glacier or the Primus Essential simmers better and has a better simmer control. You know, you can adjust the output better or more precise. I don't really know. Maybe you can look, you know, dig in the internet and someone is, you know, able to test that. I don't know. But I found that the two with the aluminum, you know, little wands here just seem to be a little bit more precise in controlling the output. And surprisingly, this Essential even put my loved MSR PocketRocket to shame in boiling times. Now, does that mean I'm going to toss my PocketRocket and start putting the Essential in all of my loadouts? Absolutely not. What you're really paying for more than anything else is the compact capability of their PocketRocket 2.0. So that's really what you're paying for, that extra $20 to $25, depending on where you pick it up, is how compact it is and the cut down on weight. So that is something that for those of you who are just using your stove constantly, and every single ounce and volume in your pack is very important. The MSR PocketRocket 2.0 still wins. But if you're with a group of people, you know, you are rocking a larger pot, so you got, you know, bigger, you know, storage for larger fuel pods, and, you know, you're boiling water for 2 to 3 people, and space isn't as big an issue. This Essential is epic. And if it's just a price factor for you, it still is going to be amazing. It's very well built. Primus has been around a very long time. Their stuff is designed in Europe, and then some of their models are still made there. Yeah, guys, here's another win on the box right here for the Essential Trail from Primus. Designed in Sweden, made in the EU by Primus. So pretty dope that we get all of that for a $25 price point. So again, that link will be for you guys below over to Backcountry, as well as Amazon, and all of these that we tested today will be on both of those links provided below. And we do appreciate it when you do use those hyperlinks. Helps me continue to do what I do, buy stuff like this, do stuff like this. So appreciate you guys so much. I invite you to leave a comment if you feel like I missed something or you have a question. I'll do my best to answer it for you. Check out the other video popping up. Invite you to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. We're throwing up content like this all the time. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.